Good morning. Well, every week there's another thing to think about, and I can think about how far we've come as a country. Trump is for sale. In the old days, when Sherman Adams was chief of staff for Eisenhower, he had to resign for accepting a Vicuña coat. A Vicuña coat. Value? Couple of $100 in those days. That was enough because it was unethical. Now, let's look at some of the things our president does that were totally unheard of in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we've come a long way, and not for the better. In order to get access to President Trump, it takes $5 million. You can't just rub shoulders with him. No way. You gotta pay for it. The lobbyists are left out in the cold. I don't feel too sorry for lobbyists because I think they had too much power anyway. And they used to say that if you gave a lobbyist $1, they made $127 back for their industry. So it's big business. And it's big business that we don't need. But now we've got centralized power in the hands of one man who craves power and adulation incessantly. It's a little bit too much. And it's not giving we, the people, any benefits. Those tariffs, they're made out of whole cloth. There's no science behind these tariffs. It's just a gut feeling and a want. A want that every single economist is saying is a terrible thing for the American people. We have supply chains that have been carefully interwoven on a global basis. We get at least 51% of our textiles, our shoes, from Vietnam. It's not just coming from China. And now people are going to retaliate. It's not like Trump snaps his fingers and everyone's going to bow and kiss his ring. No, siree. The EU is banding together. They already know. He's not their friend. China is looking at 34% tariffs on us. So what is he going to do? He's going to isolate us from the free world, and the only country that doesn't have to pay tariffs is Russia. We don't need anything from Russia. Before Trump imposed tariffs, we had 25% of the global trading pie. 25%. That's pretty good when you're thinking of trillions. And if you're in big business, if you made 25% profit on huge contracts, that's a lot of money. So what? He's not happy with 25% of the global trade in this world? He's going to try and stifle it? How is that making America great again? I ask you, our prices are going to go up. And that's a given, a minimum, they think, of $4,000 a year. What else are we concerned about besides tariffs and the cost of living increase and the lack of housing that we have? Well, the third thing, as far as I'm concerned, is the attack on our universities. Luckily, we've got an active judicial system. That system has halted his taking away $11 billion in grant money. But already, people are wondering, are they going to get the money back? Are they going to be able to have staff for all their research? Corporations are also wondering, who's going to remain if business is stifled? And that's why the market has gone down over 2,000 points. And unlike other times when the market has gone down, there's volume out there making that market go down. Is it at the point where people are capitulating? Not yet. But if those tariffs really do go into effect on the 9th, folks will capitulate. They'll throw in the towel, and the market will see a real correction. So he's taken a good economy, and he's going to look to make it into a stagflation economy. Limited jobs because DOGE is firing federal employees. Corporations can't hire or are probably firing their employees. And what are we going to have? A ripple effect in terms of how many people are out of work and how much revenue we're actually taking in. Remember, folks, it's the middle class that supports the IRS and the federal revenue. Remember, out of the trillions of dollars that are collected, only $580 billion come from the corporations. The rest of the money comes from you and me. However, like everything, there's reasons to be hopeful. In spite of DOGE's $1 million handouts to favored people in Wisconsin, Susan Crawford came in as the new Chief Justice of the state. That means gerrymandered districts will not prevail. A new fair map will be in place for the next 4 years or longer. That's good news. The 2 seats in Florida, they did go back to the Republicans, but by a very small margin. And according to one of my friends, and I'm asking this of everyone who lives in District 1 in Florida, if they encountered problems voting. Because my friend said she didn't get any notice at all of a change in polling place. She had the common sense to call up the place she voted in November to make sure that was the polling place. And then she was told to go to a totally different polling site where the hours were up until 4:30. So she's concerned that many people who work may not have gotten a chance to vote. If you're one of them, please leave me a comment. There are mechanisms in place, and you see that the margins voting for Trump, even with Musk billions, are getting less. And the university's funding has been frozen. It's supposed to be released. After all, why would you want Trump to be like Mao? Under Mao, you didn't have a good economy for 10 years. He wiped out all the university professors. He wiped out the arts and music and all forms of education. And it was only his word that prevailed. We don't want that kind of society, folks. We can do better, and we have done better. That's why you don't have to embrace the cult of Trump or a cult of death and destruction. You can embrace life and living and better working conditions and vote for it and demand it. Thank you.